Heyo! Welcome back to yet another sports podcast with your bearded brothers. I think I'm Matt.
I don't know if I'm Chris.
We're not quite sure at the moment. It is a Sunday morning after all, and we've both had a heck of a week. So,
Yeah.
we'll get into this. There's been... I don't even know where to start. We're going to break down, it's not going to be part of the news, but we are going to break down the free agency period.
As of current, yeah.
As of current. And that deserves its own segment. I actually made a list of what I thought were the top free agents that had been signed by each team.
Yeah. We're going to go down the free agency list, and then we're going to, I believe we said we were going to grade them.
I did grade
how
them.
well we think. Yeah,
I did.
Grade the top
so
ones
if you
based on how we liked it or we did. I haven't. The thing is, I actually haven't graded them. I have waited for you to pick the ones you thought were the best, and then I was going to grade them on the fly and see how that compares to what you've already graded them as.
And that was what I was thinking you were going to do anyway. I was like, I'll grade them, because I did it last night. I was like, I'll grade them, and then I'll let him decide whether or not I'm crazy. Or, well, we know I'm crazy, but whether or not I'm off kilter on my grades. That's fair.
Or if we agree that maybe my original grade's incorrect. I mean, you never know.
You never know, exactly.
So
I didn't do all the free agents they've signed, but just the more recognizable,
just the top big ones,
the big ones that I thought were important. So that'll be most of the NFL news. We are going to talk about a couple of NFL things though first, because I did not include trades. I just did free agent signings. I feel like after the draft, we can do a full offseason recap and grade each team on the trades, the draft, and the free agency and see how they did. And then coming into the next season, we'll actually do a 1-32 breakdown of what we think the teams will end up like next season based on what's on their roster now. So we're going to start with the biggest non-news that there is, because it is currently non-news, which is Aaron Rodgers still has not been traded to the Jets.
Somehow.
Actually, I kind of get it.
Yeah, I kind of get it from the perspective, because I think, here's the thing, right? Both teams think they have a specific leverage that maybe neither one actually really has, right?
Well, that's...
I don't know. There's a combination of there's the leverage going on, there's what Green Bay wants, there's what the Jets are willing to pay, then there's trying to find a middle ground where it all works out. And I think it will eventually find a way there. It's just going to be which side's going to give. There's going to be one of them is eventually going to give. Which one's it going to be?
Well, because the problem right now is Green Bay really wants the first rounder, the 13th overall pick from the Jets, the 2023.
And
the Jets are determined not to give that up.
The Jets are just like, no, he's not worth it. Yeah.
Well, and it's not that he's not worth a first rounder. They don't think that he's worth that first rounder. They don't have a problem giving up some sort of conditional first round pick next year. But if they improve drastically, which they probably would with Rodgers, then Green Bay gets a diminishing return out of that. So then it's a matter of what other and Tannenbaum is who negotiated the deal for Favre, by the way. He kind of feels like Rodgers would be worth a compensation package that Favre got, which was like a second and a third.
Right, yeah.
And, if both sides are sticking to their guns, there may be... I wouldn't be surprised to see a player or two included, and they're just trying to work out the details now, like Corey Davis, wide receiver. They've got Alan Lazard now. With all the other wide receivers they've got, it kind of makes him the odd man out and superfluous at this point. So if he were to move as part of the deal, it would not surprise me.
Yeah, I mean...
Honestly, I think mini camps open the week before the draft. I think it's like April 17th.
I don't remember.
Something like that. You can do a report date on, I think, the 17th. The 25th is the draft. I believe, and that is a date that I would bear in mind. I would expect the deal to be done before that point, because I feel like if you wait till after that point, then neither team wins. Both teams is going to lose on that one.
Yeah, no, it'll be done. It'll be done before then.
I would imagine.
It just sounds like, it's going to take a little longer to get there because both teams are just kind of really drugging and going.
And Rodgers himself did come out and say on the Pat McAfee show that he is going to play this year. He did say something to the effect of when he went into his darkness retreat that he was 90% sure he was going to retire.
Originally, yeah.
And then he came out and everything kind of flipped in his mind and he kind of wanted to play still. And he went in with the Packers kind of saying, if you want to come back, the door is open. And he came out with them saying something different. So something changed. He's a little upset about that. And he would have preferred if the management crew had just said, hey, we don't want you here anymore. We're going to try to trade you. We don't think, we want to try Jordan Love and we're going to move in a different direction. He would have preferred them to be up front rather than to say all the right things in front of the cameras and to him and then behind his back try to do all this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
He was not happy about that.
Yeah, I can understand.
So, but anyway, the point is that he did come out on the Pat McAfee show. He did say that I do still want to play and it's my intention to play for the New York Jets. So that now it's just a matter of compensation and time before they put that together. Outside of that, other big news moves. Darren Waller is no longer a Raider. Right after they got Garoppolo, we'll get there, they traded away Darren Waller to the Giants for a fifth?
I thought it was a third.
Something like that. It wasn't very much.
I think it was a third.
I think it was a third because it was the third they got for trading Kadarius Toney.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to say to that? That's just silly.
I'm surprised. I just can't believe they got him for so dirt cheap. What the fuck?
Well, he doesn't really fit with what McDaniel wants to do. Is it McDaniel? Is it Josh McDaniel is the coach there? Which one?
I think it's Josh McDaniels.
McDaniels.
I think he's McDaniels.
And then the other guy is McDaniel. Then Dolphins. Yeah. The Fins guy. Yeah. So Josh McDaniels, it doesn't fit there. He's had some injury issues, some health concerns. So I think they just wanted to get at this point, and he's being paid a lot of money, and I think they just were like, nope, we're kind of done with you. We want you gone. And, I don't get it. There are a couple other ones I don't get at all either. Stephon Gilmore for a fifth, I believe.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I think it was a fifth. It was.
Yeah, the Cowboys got him for hi. Yeah. Here's a 5th round pick, and it's like, isn't that what they got for Amari Cooper? Was a 5th?
I'm very confused.
I was very confused as well. But they didn't pay very much for him, and immediately that upgrades their secondary. Who was the other one that... Wasn't there another corner... there was another cornerback that got traded too, wasn't there? A big name one? Wasn't there another big trade that, like... Everybody kind of went, what? Oh, yeah, Ramsey. We didn't get to talk about the Jalen... Did we talk about the Jalen Ramsey trade last time?
I don't know, did we?
Well, if we didn't, Jalen Ramsey is now a Miami Dolphin, and they traded a 3rd and a 5th? And a backup tight end? Wasn't very much. It was way less than people thought he was going to go for.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's been a wonky series of trades. Nobody's made any sense out of any of it.
I'm surprised with how cheap they got him for that. Minnesota didn't throw their hat in there for that, but okay then.
Yeah, Minnesota's obviously there's some.
I mean, they've made some interesting moves already. So
I'm not sure how to feel about most of them.
Some of them I think have been good. Some of them I think have been okay. To me, though, without giving away what I'm thinking, it feels like they're gearing up for something big. But
I
I
would
could be
agree
wrong.
with that, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be a signing. It feels like it's going to be a trade. They're gearing.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's something that it is to them big.
Yeah,
And I don't know what that is.
firmly agree that
But
there's
if I
something
were
coming.
if I were to put my money down onto something that would be smart, it'd be something related to QB, but we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see, and that could totally be with the Cousins, not extension, but reworking his contract.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, it
I'm
lowered his cap hit. There's I feel like there's something coming, but I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
yeah.
it feels.
They're
I feel the
gearing for
shifting
something.
patterns, but
Yeah,
not quite
yeah.
sure what yet. So those are the major trades, and that's kind of the major NFL news at the moment.
I think that's also why we haven't heard about Dalvin Cook getting traded yet, because I think a trade is trying to happen where there is a couple package players that are gonna move.
I think Za'Darius is part of that too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think a big trade is.
I think a big
might
trade
be
is
wrong,
coming,
it feels
but I
like
don't know when. They're trying to work it all
Yeah.
out now. I feel like,
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me if it broke while we're recording.
And it could be a trade for potentially a a higher draft spot
It could be,
for
and I would
move,
not be
for a
surprised
move
at
on a
that.
QB. You know.
And then, so that could just be what are we, if we're trying to move up in the draft, are we trying to keep our draft pick? Is that where it's the holdup? What's the actual compensation? There could be some
Right.
things involving that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an interesting thought.
I do have a couple of pieces of NHL news that I want to talk about because they had was it the GM's meeting, whoever's meeting it was, Board of Governors meeting, something like that for the NHL. And they came out of that with Bettman thinks that hockey's in a good place right now and they're not looking to expand and they're not looking to change the playoff format and all the things that fans are complaining about they're not looking to fix. So, bully. More or less puts you to sleep, doesn't it?
Just sad.
Yeah, I know.
Just sad.
So the other things that I did want to talk about, because there's a couple of interesting little tidbits. Okay, so you remember several weeks ago we talked about Provorov not wanting to wear the Pride Night jersey and the fallout from that. And then the Rangers canceled their jersey wearing, and the Wild have done the same. And just the other day, Reimer said that he wouldn't wear it during warm-ups. All right, so for the teams, I have a thought. I actually do have a theory, because I've heard it bandied about, and I want to give it credence because I think it fits. Which is, a lot of the teams that are involved have a vast majority of Russian players or Russian stars on their team. In Russia,
Which we've talked about before. Yep.
in Russia, and I'm not talking about the Eastern Orthodox Church or anything.
No.
I'm going to talk about the Russian government now. Hi, Putin, because I know you just started listening. Fuck you, you fucking penile starch dictator. So, in Russia, anything having to do with homosexuality is 100% illegal. In fact, even being seen to possibly promote anything homosexual is illegal. Since these players are still Russian, if they were to go home or their families live there or anything like that, they could be subject to reprisal if they wore the jersey. And so it's possible that the teams are canceling it ahead of time so that they don't, because with Russia kind of getting thumped in Ukraine by what was deemed an inferior army and being made the laughingstock of the world stage, if you're an autocrat, the last thing you want is to be laughed at because it loses your grip on power, which means he could crack down on some things just to show his power still exists, if you understand where I'm coming from. So some of the teams may be doing that to keep their players out of harm's way.
I just think it comes back to what we talked about the first time around, which just comes down to um, different places of the world have different views on different things. And you got to remember that, our the way we see things is not the same universally. And because of that, you're dealing with very sensitive issues where you have to realize that you can't impose. Basically, what you're trying to impose on somebody might be actually very dangerous to a certain individual, right? Um,
Yep.
and is it really worth it? Is your symbol more important than people's lives?
Yeah.
And I think there's a point where you have to reflect and realize that we're not the only ones around, and that our problems are vastly inferior to some of the other world's issues.
Yes.
So I think we need to dial back some of the hate against individuals that may be going against pride, maybe not necessarily maybe against it because they want to, or because they have different viewpoints and different religions, but just because maybe in some cases maybe because they do fear for their own safety or their family's safety. We don't know their circumstances, so to judge is really difficult. And
I
I think
agree.
uh,
The
I think
one
it's very dangerous to go down that road. That's all. Yeah.
the one that I'm going to talk about, because it's the one where I feel, not that the person isn't entitled to their opinion, but I feel is the most bigoted, in my opinion, would be the one from the other night, which is James Reimer, who literally said, "Oh, it's my Christian faith," and I'm like, "Buddy, like, you must have missed what Jesus said." At least that's my viewpoint on it. And I'm allowed to have my viewpoint and my opinion. He's allowed to have his, but
Yeah,
I do
he
think
is,
that
yeah.
the way he expressed it comes across as incredibly naive and bigoted. Um,
It does. Unfortunately, there are a lot of those individuals that live in the world
yeah,
specifically. So,
but I did want to highlight that
no, yeah,
I get that some of the
that's one of
players,
the that's one
especially
of the
the
specific that's one of the specific individuals where we don't necessarily agree with their stance.
yeah,
Even though they're allowed to have that viewpoint, we do not agree with that stance.
exactly. And I was going to say, like I can understand the Russian. Is he being a little jerk to you today?
He is. He's being a little buddy butt.
I noticed you tried to throw him away, and he flew right back to you.
Yeah,
He's like, "No, fuck you! I'm
he's
gonna
nipping
bite
on
you."
me. Yeah, he's been nipping on me all of a sudden. I don't know why.
But no, I was going to say, like, we get like the other players and the Russians and people from other countries where we have to remember that our standards don't apply in other countries, and so these people go home and they have to deal with the fallout there.
Mm-hmm.
Reimer, I believe, is Canadian, and they have pretty much similar views to us. Thus, I can kind of say
Somewhat
that
so.
I don't agree with his viewpoint, and I think he's a dick.
Yeah, well, then that's
So,
fine.
welcome to that. The last little bit of hockey news, because I think it's fucking funny, and I think I texted you about it, was so recently the Wild played the St. Louis Blues, and that was chippy, to say the least. It was a chippy game. Minnesota was down 3-1 after the first period, and Jordan Binnington, doing what Jordan Binnington does, had been chirping at the bench. Binnington, and you know what? I don't find a problem with that, because you know what? That's Jordan Binnington, and at least it's
Dick, you want to be a dick, you know? Yeah.
well, it's personal. That's personality to me. He's talking smack. Okay, fine. He's also backing it up at this point. He then allowed like 2 goals right away for the game to be tied, and after Hartman scored to put the game to put Minnesota up 4-3, there was Binnington had already left the crease, been pushed out a little bit at that point, and as Hartman was going by, there was some incidental contact between Hartman and Binnington. Binnington took that as a challenge. Now, we've seen Jordan Binnington do stuff like that before, and he'll do the, "Oh, I oughta, you wise guy," and then he always backs down, right? He always does the punches the air, or threatens people and never follows through. This time, he straight up sucker punched Ryan Hartman in the face with his blocker while holding his stick in the same hand. Didn't hit him with the stick, luckily, but that still not good. Immediately there's a scrum. Marc-Andre Fleury winds up coming all the way down the ice, wants to fight Binnington. The refs immediately separate them because I don't think Binnington wants any part of Fleury, even though Fleury's never had a fight. It's Binnington. Binnington gets a match misconduct and is then the following day suspended for 2 games. Later, a couple of plays later, the Wild are up 5-4 at this point, and Braden Shen takes a run at Ryan Hartman, who skates away, and Braden Shen gets not the match misconduct, the other one. Basically, he gets also thrown out of the game, but he doesn't have to have a hearing afterwards about it. He gets an unsportsmanlike, and he gets tossed. Man, I don't know what's going on in St. Louis, and I don't know, but there's definitely some bad blood between the Wild and the Blues. But Binnington, I think Binnington, were his actions deserving of a suspension? Maybe? Kind of? Meh? He's never, you have to remember at this point, he has no prior history in terms of suspension and hearings. I feel like, and the guys at the SDPM brought it up, and Steve specifically used this term, and I agree with it. He just got the Lifetime Suspension Achievement Award. Essentially, he's not suspended for a lifetime. It's the, I've been a cheeky, naughty, shit-stirring boy for quite some period of time and have gotten away with it, but now I can't do that anymore, and this is the slap on the hand for all of the shit I've been doing.
Yeah, they finally hit me with the one for all of them. Yep.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's his Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, I guess. If you look at it from that perspective, maybe, I guess, they're not supposed to do it that way, but...
Yeah, they're not, but we all know they fucking do.
Yeah, they do. So, I guess this is their final warning to him, I guess, about it. So.
Yeah, don't do this anymore.
This is it. This is your final warning.
You have been warned.
You'll get hit harder next time, kind of thing. Yeah.
All right.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. All right.
Debatable.
It's more or less the news that I have. And we've talked about the trades, so let's, after you chastise your bird.
God. Being a little shit.
Are we going to have to put him away?
No.
Okay.
Not yet, anyways. He's not that bad.
Not like the day he was flinging poop on you?
No. No, he's just being a little butthole. He just wants attention. He's upset that I'm not giving it to him right now.
All right, so let's move into the free agent signings then. And the way I've accorded my list was the way ESPN had it, which is they did it alphabetical by city by division.
Okay. By the way, when I give my grading, I'm not doing it like on a 1 to 10. I'm gonna do it by like an alphabetical grading.
That's how I did mine too.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same
well, we're
scale.
brothers. I think we pretty much were tuned into that from the beginning.
Yeah, so sometimes we're not on that, but I just wanted to make sure we were definitely on that this time. Okay.
Yeah, we're on that this time. All right, so we're going to start with the Bills. And their biggest signing so far, they only really have one that I thought was worthwhile, and it was a re-sign, and that was Jordan Poyer, their safety. They did re-sign him to keep him and Micah Hyde together. I thought that was pretty good. I gave them a B-. And my reason for the B- is you didn't have a lot of holes, and keeping Poyer together that's a great move. However, there's still a glaring hole, and you fucking need to address it, and it's at running back. And there have been some running backs available, and y'all have done nothing. So you get a minus.
Yeah, yeah, I would say like C plus, B minus area sounds about right. Like, it's not it's not a bad. What you did wasn't a bad signing at all. It's a very good signing, keeping together the defense that you sorely need. But you're still missing out on that one big signing, especially when there is opportunities available right now. And it's interesting to see that they still haven't pulled the trigger on any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very, very weird. And that's the only reason that this gets dropped down, only because it's not the signing you'd expect to see by now.
Exactly.
Like this one, if this happened after the running back one, then this would probably be higher. But it's just like this isn't the punch you want to start with. If this is what you're starting with, I'm a little concerned.
I am
We'll
too.
see though.
But that makes
We'll see.
that's why I said
Maybe the end will be the big punch. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
maybe there's
the
something coming, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins. They re-signed Raheem Mostert. In fact, they re-signed their entire backfield, which, you know what? I don't hate.
No.
They also got Mike White to play backup quarterback. So without taking into consideration the Jalen Ramsey trade, I give them a B+ so far. They still need a little work on the offensive line to keep Tua from getting hurt. They have some good wide receivers, so I'm not worried about that. Signing, keeping your backfield together, that running back by committee did kind of seem to find its legs later in the season. And Mike White is a backup QB or potential starter if Tua just can't go. Not a horrible move. Not horrible. I've seen worse. So I went with a B+.
I'm only going to slightly disagree. I'm going to go to a B, and the only reason why is because you already brought it up. I'm worried about Tua. They did shore up by giving him a good backup, but I would really have liked to have seen them try to shore up that O-line a little bit more.
And the only thing I can think of is
that's the
maybe
only reason I'm dropping that down to a B, and that's the only reason.
And I'm thinking maybe they're looking draft for that, but
maybe, but I'm still a little concerned that I haven't seen even an attempt to try to give him some more protection, and that's concerning.
Okay, New England Patriots, big signings. They snagged from the Dolphins Mike Gesicki, the tight end. They do pick up James Robinson at running back, who is not that far removed from a 1,000-yard season. They grabbed Juju Smith-Schuster at wide receiver to replace the departed Jacoby Myers, and I think he's actually potentially better than Myers. They keep around Jabril Peppers. At safety, and they sign Jonathan Jones, or they keep Jonathan Jones, which is one of their best corners. I gave him an A. This is
straight up. This is an A.
This is an A, not an A+. But it's an A.
This is
good work.
Sneaky A too. This is a sneaky good A.
They've done really, really solid work. James Robinson to back up Ramondre, whatever his name is, the bowling ball. And Gesicki is he's a sneaky good tight end. Juju Smith-Schuster has a really good ceiling that I think he hasn't hit yet.
Yeah.
Keeping Jones and Peppers to keep your defensive secondary together, which wasn't horrible last year. Yeah, I think overall this is an A. I think they've done what they needed to do to help Mac Jones get better.
Yeah. Bill definitely pulled out a really good free agency this year compared to what they normally do. This is very, very good.
This is very good. I'm very happy with what he's done here. The big question now in the offseason grading when we're done is Mac Jones going to take that step forward that he needs to?
He has to. He just has to.
And if he doesn't,
so much
that's
at this point.
Yeah, because they've surrounded him with enough weapons.
The worst part is that everyone that works with him keeps coming out and saying, no, he's got the ability, he's got it. We just gotta bring it. We just gotta give him the time and effort to do it. Like he's got everyone that works with him says he's got this, and yet somehow it still feels like we're not there. It feels like we're missing that one extra oomph, that
Yeah.
one extra step.
Yeah.
He needs that extra gear, and I need to see it this year. Otherwise, like, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for him.
All right.
So.
New York Jets. Alan Lazard, wide receiver, and they kept Quincy Williams at linebacker. This feels like a B. I don't want to give it an A. I don't want to give it like a C.
No.
It feels like a middle of the road B right now. And I get they haven't been able to do a lot in free agency because at this point they're kind of trying to figure out what their cap's going to look like after the Rodgers trade. So,
yeah, I
mean,
mean,
bringing in Lazard, which is one of Rodgers' favorite targets, is smart, and keeping around Williams, who is the brother of their best rush guy, Quinnen. Tidy business, smart move. I think that's good for morale, if nothing else. But I feel like they need more defensively, especially after losing Sheldon Rankins.
Yeah, it's so hard to grade this one because you know that, like, because if you're trying to grade it specifically just on the free agency moves they've made, which has been very minimal, obviously, because you know that they're moving for Rodgers and they want to wait and see what everything looks like after to make sure that they can pay everyone everything. And so, but you can't, when you're grading it, you can't anticipate the trade in your judgment, really. You can't. So it's hard for me to give them even a B, because they really haven't done much in free agency. And while while what they have done has been good, there hasn't been a lot. So it's kind of like I'm actually teetering probably closer to a B minus, only because, like, I don't want to go into a C territory, only because the picks that they have are good picks. They haven't made like major missteps or even just like moderate picks. They, like, Lazard is a very good pick. Did they need Lazard? No, but, like, hey, that offense is gonna be a spit, and especially if they do have Rodgers with the talent they have on offense, there it's gonna be ridiculous. So, I think B minus is where I'm gonna have to put it. To be honest, I'll put it at B minus.
That's fair. So that takes care of the AFC East. Let's talk about the AFC North, starting with the Baltimore Ravens. Incomplete. I give them an incomplete. They really haven't signed anybody.
NA, not available.
Because they haven't really done anything.
They have done nothing.
They've sat pat. I mean, I get defensively they were probably pretty good, but you need help at wide receiver. What are you doing with Lamar?
I think they're sitting because they don't know what they're doing. I think they're concerned about losing Lamar, to be honest, which is why they're sitting. They're waiting to see what happens.
If you were worried about losing Lamar, don't lowball him.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know what else. I don't know. Explain to me why else they haven't made any kind of moves for any players.
But I do know
especially players that have been available.
They didn't even try for Juju, as far as I know.
No. Thielen's available, as far as I'm aware of. He hasn't even talked to him at all.
I don't know what they're doing at this point, man. That's incomplete until I see more. I wanted to give them an F, but
I almost want to give him like an F minus just because it's like, you haven't done anything. What are you doing?
That's why I give them an incomplete, because I haven't seen anything. I can't grade anything.
Yeah, I know. That's why I almost want to give him like the worst rating possible. You know what? No, I am gonna give him the worst rating possible. DNF did not finish.
Okay, that's fair. DNF is fine. I went with incomplete because they haven't done anything, but DNF is also totally acceptable.
As of at this point, you have not finished.
So moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Big signings: Orlando Brown Jr., offensive tackle, and Cody Ford, offensive guard. Overall A minus. You identified one of your biggest weaknesses, which was the offensive line and your ability to protect Burrow, and you went out and plugged that. The minus is because you still need some help in the secondary that you haven't addressed yet. Maybe you're going to do that in the draft, but in terms of getting better and making the right signings and trying to help yourself be in a position to win, totally. Yeah. That offensive line is going to help. Also, it's because nobody really knows what the fuck is going on with Joe Mixon at this point.
Yeah. That too, yeah. No, I actually fully agree with you. A minus, they don't look big and splashy on paper, but they are the biggest needs that they really, really needed. Which is what I have found for the Bengals, and has become very, very clear to me is protect Burrow, win games. He's just magic, man. You give him a good O-line, that's it.
Beastly Burrow, baby.
So while those picks in free agency don't look like much on paper, they are big.
Moving on to the Cleveland Browns. Big signings. Dalvin Tomlinson, defensive tackle, and I'm going to screw this name up. Ogbonia Okoronkwo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I screwed that up. Outside linebacker. I'm going to go B+, because...
Who is this again?
Huh?
What team is this again?
Browns.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go B+. And I can't... The reason I'm giving them a plus, you definitely lost... oh my goodness. Jadeveon Clowney. You lost him at linebacker, but he had a down year, and he was expensive. Okoronkwo could actually be better, and I think he comes in cheaper. You absolutely had no interior line push, and Tomlinson will definitely help you with that. So, yay. Who's going to catch balls for you?
Yeah, I think...
there's still more work that needs to be done.
I'm actually...
You've definitely plugged... The reason I gave them a plus, they plugged the holes they needed to plug, at least two of them.
I get that, but okay, just remember when I'm grading here. Remember, I'm grading on kind of a gut instinct
go ahead.
here. B-, and I'm
fair.
gonna explain why. Like, yeah, they plugged some holes, but for what team you're trying to build, where's the splash? Give me the splash. Where's the splash? You need a splash. You haven't given the splash. I'm upset. And then B- because of that. They should have had a big signing by now, especially for like you were talking about it, as like either a big wide receiver signing or a big tight end signing, something.
Stefanski is still the coach there, right?
Yeah.
Surprised they haven't grabbed Thielen.
That would have been good. I would have been happy with that. This would
that actually would have given me an A-.
I probably would have brought him up to a B+ or an A- for that. But no, they just where is it? Where is that big signing on wide receiver that you need right now?
Agree. I
don't get it.
All right, Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers. Cole Holcomb, inside linebacker. Patrick Peterson at cornerback. DeMonte Casey, who they keep at safety. B, I guess. Look, they fixed some of the things they had problems with. But there's still more that needs to be done. Especially because you can't... Your only sacking guy cannot be TJ Watt. You cannot rely on him getting to the quarterback every single play. You definitely need more work in the secondary, and you definitely need some more help pushing the line to get to the quarterback. There's still some things on that defense that need to be fixed. You've still got more to do, but so far you're doing the right things. So B.
C+. I'm a little underwhelmed. Just slightly underwhelmed. And remember, C is still, C's get degrees. You're still at a passing grade, but like, I expected more. And so you gave me a C+. Oh, okay. But like, I would have expected to see some like O-line help, get some protection for your young QB, give him some more time, give him some more weapons, give him more to work with. But they really haven't made. Again, it's kind of like that lack of a splash that I'm really looking for, that I would have expected the Steelers to have made by now. So, I'm a little disappointed in that. Normally, I'm used to the Steelers of making pretty good splashes, and
Yeah.
they just didn't this year so far.
So far, not really.
So,
All
so
right,
there
that
you go.
ends the AFC North. So we're going to move into the AFC South. And these next two teams I'm changing my grade on due to new information.
Okay.
Well, one, because I think I rated them too high. The other one, because new information has come out about another free agent and just this morning. So they're going to get a higher grade. And that would be this one, the Houston Texans, who so far have signed Sheldon Rankins at defensive tackle, Robert Woods for wide receiver, Noah Brown at wide receiver, Jimmy Ward at safety, and now they have re-signed Laramie Tunsil at tackle. Which, that's good. So I had them at a B. I'm going to move them up to an A-. With the addition of Tunsil being extended, that really helps anchor out a line for whatever quarterback they select at second overall pick.
Yeah.
And then adding in Robert Woods and Noah Brown. Now, Noah Brown's probably a risk because he had one decent year last year with Dallas.
Yeah.
But overall, he could be good. And
Yeah, but Robert Woods, I mean,
that's a great
he's got
veteran.
good hands.
He's got good hands. He's more of a number 2 receiver, but he's a great veteran presence to teach what I presume will also be a wide receiver pick, because they got 2 really high picks. So I assume they're going to take a wide receiver fairly high as well. Jimmy Ward coming over to help in that secondary, and he's already familiar with the head coach. That's a coup right there, because he's coming in from the Niners. So
I'm gonna give it an A. They're set up for success, man.
I went with A-, but A wouldn't be bad either.
Right now, they're set up for success, especially with good draft picks.
They're doing all the right things.
Anything more than what they've done now, I would classify pretty much as an A+. By the end of free agency of the draft, they may very well be at like a full-on A+, ready to go rebuild that will be by the end of 1 to 2 years, just gear into the max. It's very well possible.
Okay. Indianapolis Colts. Gardner Minshew? I had them at a D, but upon reevaluation, fuck that. F-. You assholes need help everywhere, and you sat on your thumbs. You literally do not deserve better than an F-. Fuck you. And this comes back to what Chris and I were saying for most of the season, which is the Colts just, what are you doing? This whole franchise has been thrown in the trash.
You know, I'll give them the best grade possible. G for Gardner Minshew.
But I mean, what are you doing? We know that Minshew's going to back up whatever quarterback they take with the 4th overall pick, but who's going to catch passes for him, because they lost one of their big wide receivers that everybody thought was pretty good. And I don't get it.
But we got one of the best running backs.
Yeah.
JT.
But that's all you have.
Yeah, literally, that's all they got.
And then you traded away your primo cornerback, and you got nothing for him. And
this team has just kind of been let go.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they haven't realized that's what's happened.
Okay. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Really, just the re-signing of Trey Herndon, the cornerback. They kept their secondary together. You lost Arden Key, though. B? I don't really know how to grade this. You don't have a lot of cap space, so I get that they're a little strapped up. They also didn't have a lot of holes to begin with.
They don't have... Yeah, I was going to say, they don't really have a lot of holes either. They're just a young team just waiting to grow together.
And they really... I would have said wide receiver was an issue, but
it's really not that big a one now.
Calvin Ridley is back. Yeah.
Calvin Ridley back, that's what I was going to say, yeah. Well, they could get
And then they
another
tagged-
wide receiver. They don't really need one. So, like, for
Like,
example,
my
if they happen to
biggest-
get
my biggest
Thielen, that would be
criticism-
great. But they don't have
My biggest
to.
criticism right now is that they tagged Evan Ingram and they haven't re-signed him. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really it. That's really it. To me, I mean, I gave them a B because I don't know what else to give them because it's hard to grade them because they didn't need much. But at the same time, I feel like there's the biggest thing to me is they lost
I'll put it this way,
Juwan Taylor.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to replace him.
Yeah.
So unless you're planning on drafting his replacement,
Possibly.
you kind of needed to do that. Unless you think you have his replacement in-house somewhere already, which I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But the point is, it's kind of a B because I still feel like you need to plug that hole on the line. There's still some secondary holes you could plug that would help. Trey Herndon, bringing him back is definitely a good thing. You're probably going to lose DJ Chark. You could use some better pass rushing ends, but, I mean, really, your team did pretty good. All right. But, no, so...
Yeah, I mean, I guess a B minus, because just frankly, like, they don't really need much, but, like, they really haven't made any significant moves, but they haven't made any bad moves. I'm happy with what they've done, but I'm not, like, ecstatic with what they've done. Like, it's just okay, I guess fair.
Yeah.
Right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can get with that. Tennessee Titans. Arden Key, linebacker. I mean, C minus.
C plus.
Most of their signings have been either on the O-line or linebacking side. They need a guy to catch the fucking football. What are you fucking doing? I don't. You know what? Never mind. I just don't even want to know anymore.
C plus, man. I just don't know what they're doing anymore.
Yeah.
You're lucky I'm not bringing you to just an average of a C.
All right. That ends the AFC
made
South.
Like one okay pick.
That ends the AFC South. So moving out to the AFC West. The Broncos. Samjay Perrine, running back. Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle. B plus. You upgrade the line to give Russ a little more time to cook with McGlinchey. Perrine is a decent backup back, and if he's on his game and Williams isn't quite ready to go by the start of the season from that injury, then, you at least have him to start for you. And that's not a horrible position to be in. So, okay, good luck, Broncos. The Chiefs. Juwan Taylor, offensive tackle. You know what? A. They didn't need much. They were going to lose Brown in free agency, and then they went out and plugged in another guy who's probably just as good as Juwan Taylor. Good job.
B minus.
You're just like, it's not flashy enough.
No, it's good. It's just, I don't know if I would classify it as a great move, but at the same time, they didn't need much, but could they have made better moves? Possibly, which is why I don't want to label it as like an A grade, because like they could have done other crazy things, but they made a solid move, so B minus.
Okay. This is the first time we've actually disagreed in a full letter grade almost.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay. Raiders. Jimmy Garoppolo, quarterback. Marcus Epps, safety. Jacoby Myers, wide receiver. That last one I find humorous. Considering that the Patriots lost because he threw the ball backwards to the Raiders.
Yeah, right.
Right? B minus? I don't think Garoppolo is an upgrade at QB. I think that's a lateral move.
A minus.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's why I was a little surprised when you said B minus, because I thought we were going to be a little closer. Interesting.
Well, I just don't think Garoppolo's an upgrade. I think it's a lateral move at best. He's older.
So I mostly agree with you. The only thing that I think gives it that push, which makes me more interested in it, is the fact that we do have at least Josh McDaniels and Garoppolo having worked together several times in the past, quite a bit actually. So we have a player-coach relationship, and so because of that, there's a very good chance Garoppolo knows, or very well knows, a lot of McDaniels' playbook already.
There,
And so that's already a big jump in. That's already a big advantage coming into it.
there is that chance. But
So
a lot of it hinges on Garoppolo already knowing that and then performing well. And if for some reason this blows up and Garoppolo
he's a system
doesn't,
QB, and McDaniels wants a system QB, so that'll work.
and if Garoppolo for some reason doesn't work though, or this doesn't look good, man, provided the GM isn't also the owner, which Mark Davis very well could be both at this point. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah.
We could definitely see McDaniels on the hot seat, 100%. If this does not work,
it's possible, but it sounds like Davis has made it pretty clear that he wants to give McDaniels time, because after the first year, people were already talking about it, and he squashed the rumors pretty early, being like, "No, I gave him that that 4-year contract. I plan on trying to stick it out, and then we'll see where it goes."
At this point, though, with you've got Devontae Adams, who doesn't sound like he's happy with Jimmy G coming in.
Maybe we don't know. The thing is, we don't know the context of that. There is just because it seems like it's around the same time. It could be just convenient timing. Like
That
I know
very
it
well
sounds
could
weird.
be. I will say
There might be
in
something else he's upset about. We just don't know.
I will say bringing in Marcus Epps helps out that secondary,
Yes,
which I like, and Jacoby Myers
And
kind of helps you.
It gives you more. It gives you more veteran presence and solid hands.
And it helps lessen the sting of losing, Waller.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Myers is going to play tight end, but at the same time,
no, but
he can
gives
put
you,
into
again,
the slot.
still reliable
and,
hands. Yeah.
He's a veteran presence with reliable hands, and he can also move into the second wide receiver if Renfro gets hurt, like he always seems to.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately,
at least recently, anyways.
Third
and Renfro.
Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers. Eric Kendricks, middle linebacker. B? I feel like there's something more that needs to happen here, but I don't know what it would be.
I'm waiting for something to happen.
I'm waiting for something big to happen. And
something feels like it has to happen, but I don't know what it is.
Don't get it wrong. Signing Eric Kendricks as a middle linebacker is a solid move. It's something they need. It's a good move. It's a very good move. But I feel like something is still off, and I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think I'm waiting for that big. I know I kind of keep coming back to it, but the big splash, a big wide receiver or big tight end name, a big offensive weapon to work hand in hand directly with their
really
star
don't need
QBs.
a wide receiver because they still have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and I think those are both good.
They're good, but I think you need a great like if you could somehow get if DeAndre Hopkins is really a possibility, that would be huge. You see what I'm saying?
Because I think now that there was a trade that happened this morning as well that we didn't talk about, which is Brandon Cooks to Dallas for very little. So I think they're out on Hopkins. So you never know. Also, it sounds like OBJ, there was a rumor that he narrowed down to 2 teams. It was Minnesota and someone.
Supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. Personally, they can have him, but that's just me.
If he can keep his head clean and just kind of work, if he can do what he did at the Rams for the last half of the season, where he just kind of kept his head down and just played, I'll be fine with him on the team. Having another wide receiver, because after giving up Thielen, we do need another secondary guy who can really command a lot of space on the field. I'd be okay with it. I actually would be.
Yeah, I don't want him demanding the ball and taking away from Jefferson and.
No, but the thing is, I think I think OBJ knows better because remember when he went to the Rams, he didn't demand the ball more than over
Cup.
uh over what's his fucking name their star wide receiver over there. You know the one I'm talking
Cooper
about.
Cup.
Cooper Cup. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, you said it earlier and I must have misheard you. Yeah, Cup. So I don't think he would do that. I think
I would
he
hope
would.
not. I would hope he would.
I
Just
feel
keep
like
his
he
head
would
down.
more like. I think he'd more likely just enjoy coming over to play with Jefferson because Jefferson is that big star,
Mm-hmm.
the next big star kind of thing. It feels like that's more what OBJ is doing now. Is he's just going around playing with players that he just wants to play with, for just for the funsies of it, pretty much actually.
Okay, I can see that. So
He seems like he's actually kind of turned from like he's not as diva-ish as he used to be. It feels like the last couple of years he has not been as bad as he used to be.
no, he hasn't, and I think he kind of saw what happened with Brown and went, "I don't want to be that."
And remember, he didn't even play at all last year. Like a lot of people
Well,
thought
he
he
was
was going
hurt
to, but he
too.
just yeah. So he purposely just decided to take the entire time off and
Heal.
heal up and kind of
Which,
reevaluate
you know
things a
what?
little
I'm
bit.
okay with that.
Yeah, and
Um,
I've heard him talk things recently, and apparently he's pretty level headed. So
yeah.
yeah.
All right. Um, so that ends the AFC. So let's move on to the NFC, and we're going to start with the NFC least. Well, they haven't been the least recently. They've just been the East. So actually, they've
Yeah.
been the NFC beast if you really want to get into it. Starting with the Dallas Cowboys. Leighton Vander Esch, they re-sign at linebacker. And they bring in safety Donovan Wilson. Or no, they keep him. They re-signed him too. And then they made some trades. Can't grade the trades here, but B plus. And the only reason it's only a B plus is because I feel like they still need something for their offensive line. I feel like they could still use some help at wide receiver.
I'll go B.
I feel like you. I'm waiting for the Jerry
I'm waiting
Jones.
for that one more big move that you expect from them.
Yeah, and some sort of big eye-opening move. And the reason I went with B plus is also because they got rid of the big contract that was Ezekiel Elliott.
That's true.
And
That's
that was
true.
very, very good for them.
That's true. I'm still gonna go B just because I'm like still waiting for that one move that one Jerry Jones move that you expect every year.
I mean, they're
At least
doing the
one.
right things at this point.
They are, but I'm still waiting for that fun Jerry Jones pick just to see what it's gonna be. And so I'm waiting at a B just with anticipation
Gotcha.
of what the Jerry Jones weirdo pick is gonna be.
The New York Giants. Paris Campbell, wide receiver. Darius Slayton, re-signed, wide receiver. Sterling Shepard, re-signed, wide receiver. Daniel Jones, re-signed, quarterback. Bobby Okereke, inside linebacker. I don't know. Something's in my throat, man. Holy crap.
I know I've had that issue the last couple of days.
All right. So, A. I give it an A.
I'll give it an A.
Look,
yeah.
debate it what you want and say what you will about Daniel Jones. But the Giants believe,
they're-
possibly delusionally so, that he is their guy.
No, he's not a bad QB. I'll still stand here till the day of that. He's not a bad QB. He's not a great QB, but he's certainly not a bad QB.
Keeping Slayton Sterling really helps because he's got a
That's
rapport with
big.
them.
That's big.
Bringing
yeah.
in
Those are
Paris
the ones.
Campbell from Indianapolis, who's the receiver they lost.
Yep.
Well, despite there's an injury history there, that dude has a high ceiling and can take the top off.
Exactly.
And then that defense finally gets the inside linebacker they were missing with El Kirke. Look, this was nothing short of spectacular. The only thing that would have made this better and pushed it into A plus is fully re-signing the running back. My brain went to sleep. You're not gonna do it. Yep.
Barkley?
Yes, Saquon.
Saquon Barkley. There we
As
go.
soon as you said Barkley, Saquon popped into my head. I went, ah!
We got there.
Yes, the meeting of the Dolwins.
Okay. Yes, the thing is, honestly, I'm giving them an A, not because of the Daniel Jones contract. The thing is, I think they are overpaying him. They think he's the guy. I don't know if I agree with it, but the reason why I'm giving them the A is because even though I don't agree with them all inning on Daniel Jones, they are at least committing to it. And they're full on committing to it by giving him the help and continuing to re-sign the guys that works well with him and continuing to try to give him more help. So, I'll give credit to the organization. They're willing to shell out when they think they got their guy, and that's what they're doing right now. So
Exactly, 100%.
I don't know if I agree with this being their guy, but I at least can respect the decisions that they've made.
And then on top of that, bringing in Darren Waller in trade, like I can't grade that here, but that's going to factor into my next, my end of off-season grades. Which
the Giants are all inning.
The Giants are all inning this year.
Yeah. For the next couple of years, to be honest, they're really trying to build for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yep.
To be like the next dynasty. They're really going for it.
100% agree. Eagles. Greedy Williams, cornerback. Fletcher Cox, they keep at DT. James Bradbury, they keep at cornerback. Darius Slay, they keep at cornerback. Rashad Penny for running back. Jason Kelsey comes back at center. Brandon Graham comes back at defensive end. Look, they just basically kept the band together, and
it's a fucking A+, dude.
100%. That's what I gave them too.
They brought back all of the essentials that they needed, and then replaced the ones that they couldn't get with comparable,
Miles
if
Gaskin,
not better
they
people.
They replaced him with Rashad Penny, and I like that move. And then they added Greedy Williams to a mix. Look, he's not been what we thought he could be, but he's a very high ceiling player.
Very ceiling, yeah.
Very high ceiling, and I think playing alongside both Bradbury and Slay is only going to make him better.
Listen, I hate the Eagles, but man, they are making all the right decisions as a team.
100%.
So the owner, that GM knows what the fuck he's doing. Whoever is the
100%.
GM there,
Whoever
he knows what the hell
constructed this
he's
team
doing.
knows exactly what they're doing, and this is tidy, smart business, and they're going to make another push.
I heard, I have a coworker who doesn't know about this podcast yet, so if he ever sees it, it's going to be hilarious. But he thinks, for some reason, that this Philly team is a flash in the pan, and that that their QB,
Hurts?
Why am I Hurts? Yeah, Jalen Hurts. Sorry, I'm just blanking on names.
Don't worry about it. I do that all the time.
That he's a flash in the pan, and then he's gonna, like, within the next year or two, is all of a sudden you're gonna see him just have a nosedive, and I'm just like, geez, you are either a big pessimist or really terrible at reading football.
Is this the Packers fan?
No, this is the guy that's apparently a Vikings fan, which makes me very depressed.
Oh, he's terrible at reading football.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's an absolute A+. I cannot stress enough that the Eagles are making all the right moves. That's very smart.
They're looking at it going, hey, we don't want to have that Super Bowl bloat that a lot of teams go through, where the following year it tends to be a downturn, right? Most teams that win the Super Bowl tend to have a follow-up year that's not as good as the previous. They're trying to go back to back, dude. They're trying to make that back to back.
100%.
They're making the moves for it.
100%. The Washington Commanders. Jacoby Brissett, quarterback. Andrew Wiley, offensive tackle. B+?
C+.
Yeah, B+.
C+.
See, here's my thing. Brissett, I think, is a good quarterback.
They haven't done anything, man.
They really haven't. Brissett is a good...
But he's not a starter. He's not the starter.
He's not going to be. That's why I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's why I'm so confused.
I am too. They said that Howell is going to be the starter. What?
Yeah.
I disagree with this.
Exactly. So so I don't disagree with giving Howell the starting. I think he had that one game that was good, and it's willing to try to give him another chance. I disagree with signing Brissett, though, to back up Howell. It makes no sense.
It doesn't. I would, if you're going to sign Brissett, you start him.
Yeah, it's dumb. That's why I'm saying C+, only because, okay, you didn't make awful moves, but you made very questionable ones that didn't really improve your team, so you're still kind of at a C. You didn't get
Well,
worse, but you didn't
Wiley
really
was a
get
good
better
pickup.
either.
Wiley
That's why
on
I'm
the
a C.
O-line.
Yeah, that's why I'm a C plus. Because like you got a little bit better, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You really haven't done much.
No,
It's a
there's
C
still
plus.
more work that needs to be done, and I can totally see where you're coming from. I think if you were gonna start Brissett, I would actually probably
Maybe I'd give it a little higher, but still, I've never been a Brissett fan. I think Brissett is okay. He's the definition of damn near an average QB in my book. Like he just is. At least an NFL average QB. When I say that, by the way, an average, which is still better than me as a QB. I'm not knocking the guy for that, but he's the definition of an average NFL QB.
All right. That ends the NFC East. Let's talk about the North.
Let's go.
We're going to start with Chicago. The Bears.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears. Donta Foreman, running back. Robert Tonyan, tight end. Tremaine Edmonds, outside linebacker. Nate Davis, offensive line. TJ Edwards, linebacker. A minus. This is
I'm giving it an A.
This is really smart moves.
They are again. They're doing the same thing that I said about the Texans. They're geared up for. They're just gearing up for success. And with the
I'm
trades
just worried that
with,
Foreman isn't as good a running back. That's literally the only reason I went with A minus.
Yeah, I get that, but with the trades that they've made at the same time, like
100%. Well, I can't.
I'm not grading that in this, but I'm just saying if you think about that on top of what I'm already saying with what they've done, like they're geared up for success. It's an A.
Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds are absolutely going to bring a pass rush thing. Tonyan is a really underratedly good tight end. Nate Davis can play pretty much anywhere on your offensive line and will definitely help protect. No, he's going to help protect the quarterback.
They've almost damn near finished their rebuild. They have maybe only a couple pieces that they need from the draft, and
they could still use a cornerback. They could still use some help in the secondary. And they could still use a little more help on the O-line and maybe some D-line push help.
Maybe, but I'm saying that they're pretty close.
They are not far
damn
off.
near there.
I'm very impressed with how they handled this offseason. They targeted the weaknesses and they went after them.
They've made it very clear that they're playing for the championship this year. Not Super Bowl, but I mean the NFC championship.
Oh, they want to, yes.
They're trying to go for the.
So
NFC.
My response to that is with Justin Fields and everything, don't bear it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, listen. At bare minimum, they might be able to at least contest for the division. So, which I think is very possible. I think the Packers. Honestly, if I was going to put my money on it, I think it's going to be a three-way. And for the division, I think the Packers are going to be on the stinker. I hate to say it, but I just don't believe in Jordan Love whatsoever. So, that's my current predictions for what that is. It's probably early, but...
Okay. The Detroit Lions. David Montgomery, running back. Cameron Sutton, cornerback. That's kind of a B. You exceeded all your expectations last year, but I think you really need at least one more wide receiver and maybe a tight end. Could use a little help on the O-line. And could use a little help. I mean, they kept Anzalone too, which is more of a locker room presence. So far you've done well. You still need somebody that can
I'm happy with what they got, though.
Yeah, Sutton isn't bad. He can at least play across from Okuda. And Montgomery replaces Jamal Williams, who left in free agency.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm happy at a B because they don't really again, this is a team where we talked about it last year where they've pretty much filled most of their gaps. They don't have a lot of remaining gaps left. So they don't really need much in free agency, and what they need left they can get from the drafts. So frankly, this is a team that last year looked good, and it's only going to be really good this year. Because, like I said, they had already pretty much finished their rebuilding. They were just at the growth stage at this point, and they're just in a further growth stage. This is kind of what I would expect from them at this point. This is going to be the Bears next year, right? You see what I'm saying? The Bears next year aren't going to make that many moves because they're going to be in a growth stage.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's the same thing here. Lions at that growth stage. They don't really have to make a lot much. Yeah. So you're not going to see a lot of moves. You're not going to see big trades for the Lions this year. You're not going to. Maybe you'll see some good, decent draft picks, but that's probably all you'll see. Because I think the Lions believe they have what they have at this point, and it seems like they even have a lot of belief in Goff. Which, to be fair, he's had a pretty good resurgence here at the Lions, so you might as well.
Yep, might as well. All right, Packers, nothing. They have done nothing.
DNF.
I went with INC, incomplete, because they might do some stuff. I still think they're kind of held hostage also by the Aaron Rodgers and what they could potentially get in terms of a trade. So they're not signing free agents because they still have Rodgers' contract on the books. They still need to deal with whatever they would get back from the Jets. So until they know that, there's not much point in plugging holes.
Yeah, that's why, again, DNF did not finish or have not started. I think just...
and now for the team I probably graded the harshest, to be completely honest.
That's because we always are.
The Minnesota Vikings. All right. Alexander Madison, running back. Byron Murphy, cornerback. Marcus Davenport, I call him an edge. He's a defensive end, linebacker, edge, something.
He's kind of an edge-ish. Yeah.
Greg Joseph, kicker. Garrett Bradbury, center. Harrison Smith, safety. C.
See, I'm not going to be that harsh. I'm going to go to B-.
I went with a C, and here's why. Look, Bradbury, smart move. Bringing back Smith, smart move. I like them both. Yeah. Alexander Madison probably signals the end of Dalvin Cook in Minnesota.
Yeah, which we already knew was coming.
Murphy could be a good corner, but I'm worried that that's not going to work out.
I'm happy with it. I'm happier with it than you are.
And Davenport could be a really good edge guy, but he's got an injury. There's an injury history there, and
there is a little bit of an injury history there. I think he's pretty good though, but that signals to me also Smith going.
Zadarius, yes.
So and that's why I'm giving this a B- is because to me, I'm happy with it because while you have some questions about the players, I have less issues with the players. But why I'm happy with it is because it's telling me that they're gearing up for the big move, that they're making, in my mind, the correct moves. They've moved off of certain cap players that were too heavy. They're picking up players in a way, like we've already talked about, signaling that they're moving off of other players that are too big a cap hits compared to what they're getting paid. And it's all of the right moves that we have already discussed on this podcast of what we want this organization to do. And so because of that, I'm giving it a B- because they're making the exact right steps for what we want them to do. They haven't made that big move yet that we're waiting for, but they are at least making steps in the correct direction we want them to go in.
I'm just
so because of that, I will reward them with
I'm underwhelmed by what they've done, but I also get why they haven't done much. But at the same time,
I'm willing to reward that they've at least made positive steps in the right direction.
In my off-season wrap-up, if they finish this and they actually make those trades, they turn out well, and they do some good things, they'll probably rate fairly highly. But currently, I'm underwhelmed.
See, I get that, but I'm willing to give them points for positive steps in the right direction more than you are. Which is fine.
Yeah,
it's a difference of opinions.
I'm more jaded than you are, so.
Yes. The thing is, I am concerned, but I have a positive outlook because so far they have not made the wrong decision yet.
Look,
they have so far done a very good job with this new core.
I've been a Minnesota sports fan longer than you, which is why I'm more jaded than you, because the last time I watched the Minnesota sports win anything was 1991.
It's okay.
That's when the Minnesota Twins won the fucking World Series.
It's okay.
No!
It's okay. That was only before I was born. It's okay.
Yeah, I thought it was before you were born. I was like, was that before Chris was born? Yeah.
He was 1
So
year
I've
before I was born.
I've had to witness the highs of what Minnesota sports could be, only to watch it deteriorate into nothingness.
See, I've only seen just constant downpours. So here's the thing. This is a very positive direction in my book, and I'm very happy about it. And so I want to hold on to this little bit of amount of hope that I have.
All right, that ends the North. Let's look at the NFC South. Starting with Hotlanta, the Atlanta Falcons. Caleb McGrary, offensive tackle. Taylor Heineke, quarterback. Jesse Bates III, safety. Lorenzo Carter, defensive end. I'll give that a B.
B.
That's a B. It's a solid B. You still need to
got a
upgrade
solid-
a cornerback. Not corner. And I
Cornerback,
guess
yeah.
at this point, look, you're looking at sink or swim. You could also use some edge rush to help rush the passer, but
I'm just pretty happy overall because like they've picked up good pieces. They're clearly still building around Desmond Ridder, which I think is the correct choice.
yeah.
And they're clearly continuing to move with that taking the correct steps in that direction. They
Piece
haven't
by
made any
piece.
big splashes, but they don't really need a lot of big splashes. Like they have a pretty solid core that just needs some time to grow together. So I think they're sitting okay.
Carolina, the Panthers. Miles Sanders, running back. Von Bell, safety. Andy Dalton, quarterback. Re-signed Bradley Bozeman, center. Hayden Hurst, tight end. B minus. Look, they've done some good
C
stuff.
plus. C plus.
They've done some good stuff to upgrade. I'm not
They have.
gonna deny that. But whoever you
Yeah,
take
they've
first,
lost a lot though too.
I was gonna say whoever you take first overall has to have a wide receiver to throw to, and currently they don't. So you need to figure that shit out quick.
And that's why I'm sending out a C plus because like while you have upgraded pieces, you are missing. I would say one, if not two, really big pieces, which are hands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hayden Hurst is going to be a good tight end to throw to.
Yeah, he will be, but like you can't. He can't be the only thing you
No,
throw
you
at
can't.
though.
Miles Sanders does help.
And you can't give
replace
the ball constantly to Sanders either. So
No, but that helps replace Foreman in their
It
running
does,
back by
it does,
committee
yeah.
backfield.
yeah,
Dalton
it
is
does.
a good quarterback that can
As
that
a backup.
that can be the backup.
He's a
But
veteran
he can
backup,
also
yeah.
kind of start a few games if you don't want to start your guy right away.
Yeah, you could, yes.
So you could sit him for part of the season if you wanted to. I mean, keeping Bozeman is smart, so you can keep together an offensive line to protect your new franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
So,
which makes sense. Yeah.
like I said, B minus because you still need to find some hands, dude.
I'm
get
still
the C
sitting at a
plus
C
though.
plus because they really need that. Yeah, those are big moves that you just need to make right away.
The New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr, quarterback. Jamal Williams, running back. B.
B plus.
B plus. I could see a plus.
B plus.
Basically, this has the potential to work out very well and could easily be an A grade.
think it will.
But that depends
I
on
think it'll work
Derek.
pretty well.
That depends on Carr.
It does.
So if Carr does
You're
really good,
you're pairing him with some good wide receivers. So I mean,
yeah.
and a pretty decent running back.
Well, I mean,
I mean,
here's the
And
thing.
Taysom Hill being Taysom Hill. You know, I mean, you got good pieces there.
Williams does provide what Murray used to, the Tay train. It's so Kamara doesn't have to do everything all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, if Kamara is forced to miss time with a suspension, you've got a good running back.
You got a good
in the
still
house.
backup there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
good, smart move by the Saints for that one.
It is.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, quarterback. Levante David, linebacker. B?
A.
C, the Saints. A lot of this hinges again on Baker. If Baker is the guy, and they can find the potential that he has and draw it out of him, this is going to be an A. If not, this is probably more like a D. So I split the difference and said B.
It's an
And
A.
bringing
I'm
back
going in on it.
bringing
Let's
back
fucking
Levante
go.
David was smart. Really
It was,
smart.
yeah.
I thought he was
That
going to
was a
walk
big one.
away, and
Yeah.
they wound up finding a way to keep
They
him.
managed to keep him around.
Yeah, I like that. That's smart business. Arizona Cardinals. We are now moving away from the NFC South and going out west. Arizona Cardinals. Will Hernandez, offensive line. Calvin Beachum, offensive tackle. B minus?
C.
You still need a cornerback. What are you going to do with your wide receiver? Where are you going with tight end? What are you doing with running back? No, I could see a C. You know what? Upon further review, C. Also, you brought back a guy who openly criticized your franchise quarterback?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh?
Yeah.
Nah, no, done. I mean, he wasn't wrong, but still.
No, he wasn't wrong, but it just tells me that they don't know what to do.
Rams, DNF. They haven't done anything.
DNF.
They've made some trades, but they haven't signed anybody. They haven't made an attempt to sign anybody. I don't think they have any cap space. Boo-hoo.
They probably won't, yeah.
Niners re-signed Tayshaun Gibson at safety. Re-signed Javon Hargrave. No, they brought in Javon Hargrave at defensive tackle. Bring in Sam Darnold at QB. Re-signed Jake Brendel at center. Bring in Clelin Ferrell at defensive end. You know what? That's an A. That's a solid A.
I was gonna go B plus, but yeah, I get it.
I mean, you brought in another QB to do backup duties and maybe start depending on how the other injuries shake out.
Well, for me, it also comes down to, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Darnold. This is legit your last opportunity. If Kyle Shanahan can't fix you, no one going to, boy.
No one's going to, my boy. You better listen.
This
And
is
if you
it,
do
man.
well here, you could parlay yourself into a starting job somewhere.
He could. I mean, the thing is, he's got the arm
You
talent.
have the talent.
He's got so much arm strength, it's ridiculous. So if he can somehow make it work, he could easily be a Geno Smith, a resurgent player in the future.
100%.
But he's got to put in the work now.
My man. You got to do it here.
Got to put in the work now.
All right. That also being said, Hargrave, another key piece in the middle on a defense fucking full of them.
Already a great defense.
And here's the other fun part. If Clelin Ferrell's potential can be tapped by Shanahan and this defense, my God, that's just downright mean, man.
This defense is already mean, and they've only made it worse.
Yeah, and keeping Brendel and Gibson is just smart business. So, like I said, me, it's an A. Like,
I don't know how they have the money to make this work.
I don't either, but they did it.
Where are they getting the money from?
I don't know. What kind of weird-ass shenanigans are you doing? And on top of that, Clelin Ferrell, they signed him for, like, a song. Because nobody wants him, because he hasn't lived up to his billing.
Which, fair.
And finally, last, but certainly not least, the Sea Chickens. Draymond Jones, defensive end. Julian Love, safety. Devin Bush, linebacker. Evan Brown, center. Keeping him, by the way. Geno Smith re-signed at quarterback. You know what? I'm going to give that an A minus. That's solid.
I'll do another B plus. I'm pretty happy with it. Nothing huge made me go, oh my God, amazing. But all of it was very good. You know, so I'm happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it.
Keeping Geno, to me, that's a smart move.
It is, yes.
He played very well last year, and if he plays that well under Carroll again, you've already made your value. Draymond Jones addresses issues in the pass rush. Devin Bush is a good presence to add to the linebacking core, and Julian Love will be a starting safety for the Seahawks. That's, so far, that's pretty good. And then you've got the potential to even make it worse in the draft. Oh, yeah. No, you're doing good. Oh. I think you're doing good. I think they're moving in the right direction for another title push.
You know, they're not too far away from it for sure.
No.
They still definitely have a couple more pieces to work on, but
they definitely have some more pieces to work on. I'm not 100% sure where they're going to get those pieces from, but they do have...
Maybe in the draft, but we'll see.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would like to see them get some pieces in the draft.
but they're not too far away from making. Honestly, there's a lot of teams that look like they're not too far away from making good pushes. There's only a couple teams where I'm looking at them going, man, you're still floundering. Green Bay right now. I mean, you guys are looking not so good right now.
And we're
Cardinals.
gonna have to see if Jordan Love is really any good or not. I think that's finally, and you know what? They don't look good now, but if they do well in the trade,
Well,
they
I'm
could
just saying
get
on
some
paper right
pieces.
now it still looks. I'm just saying at the moment right now on paper, it's not looking good. It's looking concerning. Cardinals right now, it's looking concerning. I'm a little
I
concerned with what's
mean,
going on over there.
I am too, but they have
They don't
so
look like
many
they have.
holes, and
Yeah,
I think the problem is nobody wants to play in Arizona right now.
no.
They need
Like I said,
to.
I'm just bringing up teams that I think most teams have made a positive push in the right direction, but there are a couple teams that still have been stagnant or have looked like they haven't really done anything and have. The Rams, another good one where they just, what are you doing? You're just doing
The
nothing.
Colts,
The Colts, what are you doing? You're just doing nothing.
the Ravens.
Exactly, the Ravens. Like it's just like you're not making positive pushes, and like for some of them, like I can kind of understand to a degree, kind of like the Ravens and Green Bay. I can understand where you're a little concerned about certain issues, possibly. Um, Same thing with the Jets, right? But like I just think that for like the Colts and for the Cardinals and for the Rams, guys, like you're gonna be the bottom of the league if you don't make some types of moves here. Even if you get stuff in the draft, there's no way that you guys are gonna get anything that's gonna be that magical one or two players that's gonna make your entire season amazing. Like it's just the odds are not likely there. So you're not building more positively. So are you? I mean, are we gonna see the Cardinals try to tank again and possibly try to move off of Murray? Is that what we're possibly seeing?
I don't know. And what are they going to get for D Hop?
Yeah, exactly.
And then the Rams are going to have to tank because
They
then they
might.
have no cap space currently.
I mean, they might move off of Stafford, and there's already rumors that they might end up shopping him this year, which means that they really will be tanking for.
Now, some of that could be waiting. And also, that could be the other thing we're waiting on in terms of the Rodgers trade till after June 1st. Because if you wait till after June 1st to do some of this stuff, you can spread out the dead cap hit that you have to take for some of that over two seasons and save more money in the long run rather than having to take it all in one season.
Right.
So some of these trades that could include Cook, that could include Cousins, that can include, however you want to look at it, they may happen after the 1st of June simply because you can spread the hit out longer over more seasons and decrease the hurt it does to you.
I have a feeling Cook's going to be traded before the draft or during the draft. I feel like it's going to happen before or on the night.
Well, and Za'Darius, you don't have to worry about that with because he's only got a negative of like 333,000.
Exactly. But I think Cook, I have a pretty good feeling he's going to get moved before then. I have a feeling about it.
And that could totally be the case. We'll have to see how some of this goes. But there could be a reason to wait for some teams in terms of cap gymnastics. So we'll have to see how all of that works out. I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the nice way to put that.
Do you have anything you want to talk about in a Vikings corner?
No, they haven't really. Like I said, I think we kind of talked about what we needed to last week. They haven't really made any big splashes. We've already talked about kind of how we felt about what they've already done.
Yeah.
I have a more positive outlook with what they're doing than it sounds like you do. But I think we're both kind of in the same position of just waiting for that one or two big moves that it seems like they're gearing for.
It's not that I don't have a positive outlook on what they're doing. I'm really hoping they make those trades. I haven't been impressed because of the free agents that have been available. I haven't been impressed with the ones that they've managed to go after. That's what I'm kind of getting on. But I also realize they don't have a lot of cap space, and a lot of their free agency has been spent restructuring deals. I was also a little upset with them, which also went into it, for letting go of Thielen. I knew that was coming, but at the same time,
You knew that
unhappy.
there was going to be really difficult to restructure that where it made sense for both parties.
But I'm also hoping that he comes back at a lower hit. That wouldn't be bad. I would like that.
I don't know if they can.
I don't know if they can either, but that's just me. Then in that case, let's go to a hockey corner. And I will do hockey power rankings. You ready?
No.
All right. So we're going to start at the bottom again. And number 10 this week, we have a new number 10. The New York Rangers. On their last 10, they have gone 6-3-1, and they have a total of 88 points. They've been playing well. They've kind of figured out how they need to play now that they've got Tarasenko and Kane and everybody else. They've started to put everything together the way they need to, and they're starting to round into form. I'm impressed. This has been the problem this week, is there's a lot of teams that went like 6-3-1 or something, and I'm like, okay, well, how do I fucking rank all of you? At number 9, I think this might be the first time they've been on the list. They might have been there last week. The Dallas Stars. And
I think you had them on there last week.
It hurts me to put them on the list because I do not like Dallas. Their last 10, they are 6-3-1, and they have 87 points. They currently... Now, all of these are as of Friday morning. So none of this takes into account yesterday's games, or Friday night's games. So, they currently led the division, the Central Division, West Central, and they were 1 point ahead of Minnesota and 3 points ahead of Colorado. So that division's a dogfight, but they are coming off of a big skid, which is why I didn't put them up higher. At number 8, the Vegas Golden Knights. Last 10, 7-3-0, 90 points. They lead their division as well. And they're not 7 or they're not 8 because they're bad. They're 8 because other teams have played better. I'm not dropping them down as a punishment. It's just they didn't do enough to hold firm where they were. And certain other teams have been playing much better than them, and I think are more dangerous.
Gotcha.
Number 7, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Last 10, 6-3-1, total of 89 points. I mean, let's be honest, losing Ryan O'Reilly kind of hurts. They do appear to be running an 11, a Slurpee, as it's been called. They're running the Slurpee lineup, which is 7 defensemen and 11 forwards, so it's a 7-11 lineup.
Okay.
So it's the Slurpee lineup. I don't disagree with what they're doing, but at the same time, it's odd. It's working-ish. We'll have to see how it all works out. Number 6, the Carolina Hurricanes. Last 10, 6-4-0, 96 points. Look, they've been doing well, but recently their lack of scoring is starting to rear its head, and they're starting to get beat. I'm worried about that come playoff time. If I'm going to be completely honest with it, if I'm the Hurricanes, I'm worried about my lack of scoring. And it can rear its head at ugly times. Other times they're a beast. And sometimes they're just flat. I don't know. Number 5, the Los Angeles Kings. Last 10, 8-1-1, 89 points. And they're not too far. They're hunting down Vegas. They've been playing well. Fiala's had a great season for them. The goaltending finally seems to be rounding into form. They're dangerous now. I don't know what it is, but they're dangerous. Number 4, the Minnesota Wild. Last 10, 7-0-3, 86 points. 1 point behind Dallas. 2 points ahead of Colorado. They've been playing very well, but it's obvious that Kaprizov being out hurts them. Now, the good news is Jonas Brodin is getting closer to coming back, as is not Sunquist. Who's the other guy we traded for another guy from the Blue Jackets, and I don't remember his name. But anyway, he looks like he's close to coming back too. And Foligno's out currently, but he should be back shortly. And I think it was Duhaime who was also out, and he didn't come on the trip. That was their road trip recently, but Brodeen did, as did the other guy. So they should be coming back in soon, and that will alleviate some problems. They've been playing very good hockey, and both their goaltenders are firing on all cylinders right now. Number 3, Colorado Avalanche. Last 10, 6-3-1. They have 84 points. This is a team that's rounding into form. They're getting their whole lineup back together. They're going to be dangerous. They're going to make another cup run, period. End of subject. Colorado, I hate Colorado, but Colorado is super dangerous right now. I would not want to face them in the playoffs, and it looks like we're going to have to. So, fuck us, I guess. Number 2, the New Jersey Devils. Last 10, 6-2-2. 95 points. They're also rounding into form. They're starting to look real good. They're putting everything together with Timo Meier. They're putting things together where they need to. They are going to be a super dangerous team in the playoffs. I think they're going to do quite well for themselves. And number 1 is still the Boston Bruins. Their last 10, they are 7-3-0. The only reason they are number 1 is because no one did enough to push them out of that number 1 spot. If either Carolina or New Jersey had gone on a massive run and gone like 8-1-1 or something in that time frame, they would have displaced the Bruins for this week. But both of them had kind of shit weeks too. Especially Carolina, who dropped. Going 6-4. Ugh. So Boston currently had 107 points. The only thing I worry about, because I do worry about one thing with them come playoff time, which is they've just coasted through the whole season and haven't really had to be challenged. And playoff hockey is all about getting smashed around. Boston likes to hit people. How are they going to hold up come playoff time? Are you going to be able to get up for those games because you really haven't had to turn it on all season? So how are you going to do come playoff time? And that's, kind of, you got to worry about that if you're the hockey team, the playoff hockey team. Like certain teams who have had to struggle and turn it on all season, they know how to turn it on when it's time. Boston hasn't had to do that this season. So,
yeah.
Yep. It's going to be a dogfight in the West, man. All the teams are within striking distance of each other, especially in that Central Division. The top teams were separated by 3 points. That's fucking stupid. I don't know how it's going to all shake out. If I had to guess, Minnesota will stay 2, Colorado will be the first team, and Dallas will become the 3 seed. There you go. Congratulations. Just trying to figure it out. I don't know. For all I know, Colorado could become 1, Dallas is 2, and Minnesota's 3. Or Minnesota could be 1, and Colorado's 2, and Dallas is 3. It's going to be some combination of those teams. If I was going to say there was going to be a team that would drop out of the playoff hunt, it's going to be Winnipeg. They started really strong this year, and they've just, since the All-Star break, they've kind of done this. So, I think they're going to fall out of wildcard contention. Somebody else will take their spot.
Gotcha.
So, that's kind of my viewpoint on all of that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Not a whole lot else there to say.
That's fair.
It's been a fun week in hockey. Been some interesting things. We're starting into that, the end of the season. We're within the final month of the season at this point. Starting to push towards the playoffs. Once they're all settled and the seeding is confirmed and the brackets are confirmed, Chris and I will do our picks for that. Also, the first week of April, we are planning on doing our mock draft first round mock draft for the upcoming draft. By then, a lot more things should be settled in terms of free agency. A lot of trades should hopefully have been completed, and we should kind of have who's going to be where and who's going to do what.
Who's going to still need what? Yeah.
We'll kind of, because we kind of, we'll kind of have a better feel for it then. I have not done the trade dissection, and it's not because I haven't done the research. The research is done. I've got the whole thing built. I just haven't had time to write the script and record it. It's been a busy week. I went to Ren Fair yesterday. I've been trying to work and put money together for stuff, and it's just been a ridiculously busy time, and I have not had the chance to slow down enough to actually do it.
So good.
I'm hoping to find time to do it sometime this week. I guarantee nothing. Just like I said the first time I put one out, it'll come out when I can get them out.
Yeah, it should happen. It's all good, man.
Yep. This will come out as soon as I can get it out and edit it as well. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's one of our shorter shows. Sorry about that, guys, but there's not much else to talk about. If you don't like it, fuck off. Who cares?
I could care less, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're doing this for us, and y'all can, if y'all enjoy it, great. In fact, saying that, if y'all did enjoy this, even though it was shorter, go ahead, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Let us be your brothers too. Yes. If not, move on. Have a nice day.
We don't want you here anyways then.
No. Bye. So, what we will say now. Go ahead. Next time, stay bearded. Bearded Nation. Be awesome. We'll see you later. Peace.
Bye. Bye. Bye now. Have a good day.